Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Player Zone YouTube channel and welcome back to our Euro 2024 quarter-final predictions here. It has flown past the tournament. We are into the real nitty-gritty now of the tournament with the big teams there. We've got basically what many think is a final preview here in the quarterfinals. So a shame they can't go all the way in Spain and Germany. We've got two giants in France and Portugal facing off. And we've also got the underdogs in Turkey as well, making all the way through, with Switzerland also playing England as well. So there is so many great games. There is not a bad game here in the quarterfinals. So as such, there's going to be very, very hard predictions to be made. Looking back to last predictions for the round of 16, I came in with 22 points, added 7 more points. So I got 7 results correct, but no scorelines, and obviously missed that Turkey result. I thought Austria would get it done. So 7 points. It takes us to 29 points now for our Euros predictions. Not too bad. Much happier with my results from the round of 16, hoping to continue that here in the quarterfinals predictions. With that being said, ladies and gents, let's get straight now into our quarterfinal predictions. Our first game is the big one. It is Spain and Germany, the host nation, arguably people's favourites versus many other people's favourites in Spain. Both teams playing fantastic football so far in this tournament, and it's going to be a very, very tight match. Spain obviously come to this game winning 4 games out of 4 so far in the tournament and playing some of the best football. I like the way they're going about things. It is not just tiki-taka like the old days of Spanish football. It is a willingness to cross the ball, use pace, and use the flanks as well, and it's caught a lot of teams out. They obviously come off that 4-1 win versus Georgia. They actually went down for the first time this tournament, but fought their way back, and it's through big players like Rodri, Fabian Ruiz, and Lamine Yamal alongside Nico Williams, and those 4 players, no surprise, are the keys for me in this game here, especially in the middle of the park. Rodri and Fabian Ruiz, for me, are probably the 2 players of the tournament so far for me. I've loved what Fabian Ruiz has done in midfield in that proper number 8 role, going both ways, carrying the ball forward, being an attacking threat and getting on the score sheet, but also covering off defensively and being pivotal in terms of transitioning the play for the Spanish in midfield. You obviously know what Rodri does. He sits in front of the 2 centre-halves, being fantastic in terms of protecting, but also winning that ball back and driving Spain forward. They're a team that doesn't like to sit without the ball for much time in the game. They have done that. They have sit in deep and counter-attack teams at the time, but they're a team who wants to win the ball back as quickly as possible with high pressing, and Rodri leads that. He's a player that can nick that ball back quickly and can drive you forward. And he's got goals in his game as well. We saw that in the round 16 on the edge of the area, finishing quite smartly into the bottom corner there as well. Those 2 midfield will be pivotal. They obviously go up against like the Ilkay Gundogan, Robert Andrich, and Toni Kroos for Germany. So it's an all-star midfield battle in there. And as I said throughout the whole tournament, all these prediction videos, you'll probably get me tired of saying it, but every game is one in the midfield battle. I feel like in these Euros, so much talent, so much quality, and it's so important to control the pace of the game, and especially this game here with 2 quality units. Before we get into Germany, I want to touch on Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams. Nico Williams having a remarkable game last time out versus Georgia with that great goal, running in from his own half, setting up others as well. And I feel like, as I said, for both these players, they bring spark, they bring a difference maker, and they bring that energy and intensity that not many teams have on the flanks. These youngsters, because they're so young, they've got that fearlessness to keep running in behind, to keep creating chances. And like I've said throughout, they've got the IQ and the smarts that they find the right pass at the right moments in time. They won't just drive to the bar line, cross the ball in willy-nilly. They'll sometimes pull the ball back, play the pass they need to, then work back in 1-2s and get in behind. And equally important for them, Dani Carvajal and Marc Cucurella have been fantastic at the full-back positions, overlapping, pushing on, inverting to allow space for these young wings to do their work, and linking up with them in terms of their ball movement down the flanks. So the flanks is where Spain will do most of their damage, and as such, for Germany, it's very important that the likes of their wide players, Florian Wirtz and Musiala, not only on the score sheet and going forward and providing goals, but also defensively to shut down the likes of Marc Cucurella and Dani Carvajal, because they've been pivotal for Spain's forward play and forward movement. So as much as Musiala and Wirtz are attacking players that I think will be pivotal in terms of scoring goals, because Kai Havertz, we know, is not that proper number 9. He's going to need some support from wide areas. I think Florian Wirtz will come straight back into the lineup. These are the guys and their creativity, the way they like to drift into different channels and open up spaces, their smarts on the ball. It's going to be important in terms of scoring goals, but they need to track back defensively. We saw how Denzel Dumfries made the most of Yanis Hadji not tracking back for Romania in that clash with the Netherlands. It'll be a very similar thing here for Spain. They will abuse the wide areas if the German wide players are not tracking the fullbacks for the Spanish side. So it's very important that Musiala and Wirtz cover off defensively as much as they do attacking work as well. And obviously for Germany as well, they've been really, really solid at the back. It's the question, does Nico Schlotterbeck play alongside Antonio Rudiger in this game here? Jonathan Tah's been okay in this tournament, more of a ball-playing player, a little bit slower, whereas Nico Schlotterbeck's quicker, closes down spaces, and was fantastic in that game last time out in that 2-0 win versus the Danish. He covered space as well. He blocked a lot of shots. He was really, really solid alongside Rudiger, and it looked like they developed quite the combination there at the centre half. So it'd be interesting to see who they picked there. It's a good problem to have if you're Julian Nagelsmann. I think I'll go Nico Schlotterbeck. He's performed really, really well in a big knockout game, covered ground well, developed that good combination with Antonio Rudiger, and feels like he just gives me more confidence when he's on the ball and in terms of covering spaces defensively as well. So that's sort of a few worries going to this game for Germany. It's about managing the moments. Spain are going to have these great moments in games. I think they'll have the greater control midfield with the likes of Rodri and Fabian Ruiz in there. It's when they have their chance, got to be clinical. And I feel like that's the story of this game here. Whoever takes their chance first, whoever's the more clinical side will go and win this game. I feel like if you score first, you win the game. It's pretty easy for me. I can't see there being many goals and many opportunities because of how midfield condensed this game will be and how good both teams are in the centre of the park. I think it will live in the centre third of the game as such. When you get your chance, whether it be Morata, whether it be Kai Havertz, Lamine Yamal, Nico Williams, Musiala or Vert, you've got to take your opportunity. Or does a Nicolas Fulkrug come into the game and change the game as a more proper number 9, a physical player? That's also something that can be thrown up in the air as well. With that being said, it's going to be very tight. As I said, the first goal would pivot in this game. I feel like moments will matter. And I think I just back in this Spanish side. I think like Danny Carvajal, the likes of Rodri's, the players who've been in Unai Simon, who's an experienced player in international football. These sort of players will get them over the line for me. Yes, Germany have Toni Kroos. Yes, Germany have Joshua Kimmich. But I feel like these Spanish players are living for the moment. They can grasp it more. And even their young players feel like they grasp this moment more. Lamine Yamal's like a 30-year-old in a 16-year-old's body. He knows the moment. He knows the right places to play the ball and how to adjust the situation. As such, I got Spain win this game just 2-1. I think it's going to take something special for the Spanish side, but I think they've got it in them. With the German home crowd, Germany the favourites, I think Spain come through here and continue their great run and get a massive win here in the quarterfinals. Our next game could also be a Euro final in its own regard. It's Portugal and France. And in many regards, the two deepest squads, the two best squads here at the European Championship finals. Portugal coming off a dramatic penalty shootout win versus Slovenia in the end, 3-0 there. And Diogo Costa making history, saving every single penalty in the penalty shootout. But in that game, there was moments, and I've touched on it in my reaction video, and as a Cristiano Ronaldo fan, as a Portugal fan, it hurts me to say, but maybe Ronaldo isn't the right guy to go ahead and pick in this game here. Diogo Jota comes onto the pitch and changes the game. He makes that chance for Ronaldo in the 89th minute, 1v1. He wins that penalty for Ronaldo in the 114th minute. He's a great runner. He's a clinical finisher. We see it for Liverpool in the Premier League. When Liverpool need a goal, Diogo Jota's the guy they go to. Whenever he's fit and available, he scores so frequently. And I feel like he's the right man for this game here with both teams so solid defensively. Both teams are lacking that creativity from open play. It's a player like Diogo Jota that can score something, create something out of nothing to change this game and tip the scales into the Portuguese favour. By no means, I not want to see Ronaldo at all. I think he would be great off the bench at like a 50th or 60th minute to come and change the game. But he looked off. The heading wasn't there. He missed the penalty. The 1v1 chance is a poor finish straight at the keeper. All the free kicks were quite central at Jan Oblak. And in the end, obviously a great penalty in the penalty shootout, but that's just Ronaldo, right? We expect that's the bare minimum of him. And you can see him crying. I think he knows that his body isn't keeping up to what his mind thinks he can do. And I think at that point in time, you get to a difficult situation, especially with the free kick thing. And I'm not going to single it on the free kicks, but when you've got Bernardo Silva and Bruno Fernandes, quality free kick takers that are being taken away from these set piece opportunities, I think it's taken away from the side by having Ronaldo there. They're so Ronaldo-centric when he's on the pitch, and it makes sense. He's the greatest player in my mind of all time. So it makes sense to go to him. But with his current age, with his form he's currently in, I think it's time you change it up. And get him coming off the bench, that might just free the player up, especially against such a solid French backline. If he has fresh as coming off the bench in the 55th, 60th minute, he could blow that game apart. I think it's important in this game, like the previous one, the midfield battle as well, especially for Portugal. Bernardo Silva playing in a wide position can create from there. But I think, once again, Palhinha, Vitinha in that midfield, the 6 and the 8. Palhinha with a fantastic performance versus Slovenia, winning that ball back, being that midfield enforcer, that break up of the game. We're going to need that again from him here for a Portugal standpoint. this French side is so quality in the forward areas. Yes, they've struggled in this tournament so far, but you feel like they're just heating up. They're waiting for that big game, that big moment to show what they're all about. And that French midfield is very, very solid. It is more defensively orientated, but it'll need Palhinha to break the game up and win the ball back for the Portuguese. And then obviously Vitinha has been that guy so far in the sort of 1B mould to Fabian Ruiz. He's a midfield carrier, can carry him to dangerous areas. He picks the ball up. He's a dangerous midfielder that can push on and create for midfield deep line position. So he'll be very important again to get the Portuguese going in the right direction and getting the likes of Bruno Fernandes and also Bernardo Silva, Cristiano Ronaldo, Diogo Jota on the ball to try and create chances. And for me, Rafa Leão, he's lifted slowly and slowly and slowly, but it's not the Rafa Leão I'm used to in club football. Can we see a bit of a revenge game here from him to put his name on the map here at Euros 2024? He could be a player that could break this game apart for me. He's got that X factor. He's got that dynamism in the final third. I don't think we've seen that anywhere near the best of him so far at Euro 2024. In terms of the French, they continue to get the job done. It's very similar to what we've seen in the past with Didier Deschamps' side. It's pragmatic. Yes, it might be a little bit boring and not convincing, but it gets the job done. No goal from open play so far in this tournament. Mbappe from the penalty spot is their only goal to their name outside of the own goals, but they get the job done. And I think the backbone of these performances have been defensively and those hoarding midfielders. N'Golo Kanté, Adrien Rabiot, Tchouameni, alongside that Koundé, William Saliba, Dayot Upamecano, and Theo Hernandez back four. It has been resilient. It's been a brick wall at times. Obviously, Adrien Rabiot, he misses this game due to suspension, so you might see Antoine Griezmann drop into number 10 role, and I'd love to see Barcola now on the flank. They've all dropped that melee. That's something I wanted to see, but let's see Mbappe up the left, Thuram or Colomboigny on the middle, and let's see Barcola off the right, because when he came and impacted that game versus Poland, he made a difference. He's a direct runner. He's a younger man, plays a bit more flair, and can maybe add that just something different to the front line of the French team right now, because Antoine Griezmann's up top, it lacks that sort of X factor, that dynamism that they need in the final third. I think Griezmann suits a more number 10 role where he can set up the forwards, allow them to do their work. I don't like him when he's in the final third there. So there's a few changes I'd make. Obviously, for the French, it's all about managing the game, managing the moments. They'll be a side that wants to grind out a result, a really slow-paced game, control the momentum, control the pace of the game from midfield, and go from there and take that chance out of nothing. You know, the likes of Kylian Mbappe, the likes of Olivier Giroud off the bench, a Colomboigny, like we saw, and how they scored that own goal, Jan Vertonghen against Belgium. That's the type of performance they'll want to get out of this game. Portugal, you can easily do that against them because they can get lulled in a bit of submission. They can play a bit slower and they can let the game sort of drift away from them. I think this game will be won in a moment of magic. Will it be Ronaldo? Will it be Diogo Jota? Will it be Bruno Fernandes? Will it be Kylian Mbappe, Antoine Griezmann? Will it be Colomboigny? It's going to be someone like that to break this game apart. Otherwise, as has been a trend of this tournament, both teams will play a little bit more pragmatic, a little bit side to side. They've both struggled from open play. As such, I see this game as coming down to a pivotal moment. I've got France winning this game 1-0. I think a Kylian Mbappe moment of magic here, in the second half or late in the game, will be the moment to separate these two sides because they're so balanced on paper and they play very similar styles of football right now in this tournament. So Kylian Mbappe or a French magic moment will be the one for me. I've gone with a French 1-0 win. Come to the other side of the draw now, with England and Switzerland being our next game to talk about. England obviously have been in the centre of all social media attention. They've been the talk of the town because of Gareth Southgate underperforming, scraping over the line last time out versus Slovakia, needing extra time, and a Jude Bellingham, stroke of masterclass. They were 30 seconds, 60 seconds away from being eliminated from Euro 2024, yet we're saying their names here in the quarterfinals. And I feel like that type of performance, that sort of come from behind type victory, it instills some confidence in the side. And I think it gives another opportunity to see if Gareth Southgate can tinker with this side. And I said it in my reaction video, I don't want to blame all of this on Gareth Southgate. We have seen the last game, Harry Kane's been poor, Phil Foden, Walker, Trippier, Declan Rice, all not being good enough for me. And as such, it can't just solely be on the manager. I feel like we need to see much more from Harry Kane. He has been, I don't want to be harsh, but pathetic in this tournament so far. Phil Foden, subpar. Kieran Trippier, I understand why he's been poor, but not good enough for me for an international level player. You need players to stand up, these big players to stand up. I want Declan Rice driving into spaces, opening the game up. Like we saw with that chance we hit the upright against Slovakia late in that game there, it was him getting the edge of the area, pressing forward. When it all comes down to the end of games for England, they push numbers forward, they look much better. Why don't you instill that confidence from the start of the game and play this progressive style of football from the kickoff? Because when they're going to express themselves, they look at their best. And I feel like it takes a bit from the manager, but also the mentality of the players to go and push and try things in a game. That's why I'm thinking Kobe Manu will be massive for this game here. We saw what he did against Slovakia in terms of trying to change the game for England, especially in that first half, driving the spaces, playing forward passes, taking the game on, taking shots from outside the box, and helping England grow into the game. Obviously, Jude Bellingham's going to be massive with his magic moments. Again, I don't think it'll be a Jude Bellingham type performance to break this game apart, especially with how high pace and high intensity the Swiss play. I think it's going to be a Cole Palmer type performance. I expect him to play from the start in this game here. I expect South Africa to shuffle around a little bit. I think him and Kobe Manu, with their aggressive, their youthfulness and their freedom and flair on the ball, that will be the difference to break apart a really, really organised, high-energy, high-pressing Swiss side. The Swiss come off that 2-0 victory versus Italy where their energy and intensity caught them off guard. Italy couldn't play out from the back. They struggled to deal with it. And it was because 10 men were working together as a unit. It was very hard to break down. And, a bit of a dark horse, but I like the way they play their football right now. And I think it comes down to the wide areas. Erbischer alongside Ndoye, the pace, the creativity from the wide areas, that's what will change the game for me. If these guys perform like they did versus Italy, they can create those magical moments like they did, and they work hard both ways, defensively and attacking-wise, they can win this game of football. They've got established players like Akanji, Shah at the back alongside Ricardo Rodriguez as a centre-back 3. They're fantastic. And in the middle of the park, I think is where Switzerland can win this game. Granit Xhaka and Remo Freuler, for me, have been heavily underrated in this tournament in terms of their ability to win the ball and transition the ball for Switzerland. They are the cogs that turn this press, that lead this press, that control the pace of the game, and they do it at such a great level. And I think they can exploit the England side. A young Kobe Manu, Declan Rice in poor form, Jude Bellingham struggling in this tournament and a more progressive role. They can press England out of the game here, especially with how poor England have been in terms of being progressive, playing out from the back. If you force England to play sideways and backwards, you continue to press them high and higher and up the pitch. You saw what Italy did. They struggled under the Switzerland press, and I feel like England will struggle as well. So the press led by Remo Freuler and Granit Xhaka, and the control of the pace of the game that Remo Freuler and Granit Xhaka can provide will be pivotal to me. And then Ndoye, Arbisher in wide areas, and Vargas up top finishing the chances off, and then Bolo, if he can be more clinical in front of goal, that's a very dangerous side. The centre-back trio, one of the best trios going around, probably just short of the French side. They've got everything going in their direction, and I think they get the win here. I've got a 2-1 Switzerland win. I think they've got what it takes. They've got the confidence. They've got the style of football to beat England. It's a perfect antidote to this sort of pragmatic, slow, sideways style of football with this high energy, high pace, high press style of football. I think it'll catch Gareth Southgate and his men off guard. I can see Switzerland getting a massive win and qualifying for the semi-finals in this tournament. Our final game is the Netherlands and Turkey for the quarterfinals here, and wow, these two teams produce some games in the round of 16. Same with the Netherlands, they probably produced their best performance of the tournament so far in that last game versus Romania, a 3-0 win, 25 shots, around 12 or so corners. They dominated it from basically the 15th minute onwards. That first Cody Gakpo goal in the 20th minute, fantastic individual running, and I said it in my recap of that game there. He is so important to this side. Obviously, equal on the top of the golden boot in this tournament. He has been the difference maker for the Netherlands. Their best player by a long way. You need to feed him the ball more often than not. He'll be so pivotal in this game, especially against a high-energy Turkey side that at times can also sit in very deep. If they're going to sit in deep and try and make sure the Netherlands play around you and side to side and backwards, it'll take a player like Cody Gakpo to break the lines apart and create a moment of magic that can move the game into the Netherlands' direction. So he'll be so important to this game. And also really, really important is that return to that control. We saw that against Romania, much more controlled performance. Virgil van Dijk, Stefan de Vrij, much better at the back. The reintroduction of Denton on frees at right back in terms of the attacking output was great, but also defensively. They were much more solid. Looked like that style we're used to against the French and also the Polish side. It was stray away versus Austria, where they didn't manage the game well. They conceded a lot of chances, conceded some poor goals, and it's not what I'm used to with this Dutch side. The midfield is quite weak. This forward line lacks that consistent quality. The defence is where their quality lies, and that's where their best players are on the pitch. So I think you need to continue that sort of controlled performance, defensive solidity, and limit the chances available to the opposition, like we saw versus Romania in this game here. It'll be a very similar game. Turkey will thrive off the crowd and small moments and high pressing and high energy early in the game and in different moments. They'll pick times to sit in deep and allow the Netherlands to play side to side and backwards. But it's the Netherlands who need to control the moments, control the pace of the game, and pick the moments when they want to pick apart this Turkey side. They've got the quality to do that. It's if they can do it consistently. We saw against Austria, they struggled to manage the moments. They got overwhelmed. They couldn't manage the game, defensive mistakes, and they end up losing that game to Austria in quite dramatic fashion. If they can manage the game and play very similar how to play versus Romania in terms of keep attacking, keep enduring the low block that will be put into place, but then scoring the chances when you get the opportunity to, allowing your players like the Donyell Marlins, like the Cody Gakpos to thrive and flourish, you're going to get a positive result here. You look at Turkey, a fantastic result to beat Austria 2-1. I didn't see that one coming at all. To be honest, I thought Austria was one of my safest bets. They were fantastic in the group stages, obviously winning that group with France and the Netherlands. They're a very, very solid side. But Turkey undid them because they made the game chaotic. Yes, the weather played a bit into their favour, and yes, the crowd's backing them in. They'll have a similar crowd in this game here at the Olympic Stadium. Use those moments, use momentum, use the chaos in your favour. Player for player, they go nowhere near the Dutch side. The Dutch side have more quality, more experience, and just more vintage in these sort of games. They've seen these sort of games. They've played these sort of big time games. These Turkey players haven't gone nowhere near these type of big occasions. Player for player, you're going to struggle. Pound for pound, you're going to struggle. But if you can make the game level off with chaos, not allow the Dutch side to control the game, control possession, control the momentum of the game, make it a bit of a scrap, that's when Turkey have a chance to go and win this game. Employ a very similar style to what you did versus Austria. Try and pounce early, create a really hectic environment early, back and forth type earlier chance, take an early chance, try and defend that from there. I think it's so important for Turkey that they get the early goal, and that will come through the youngsters. Arda Güler, Yildiz, these are the guys, they're the magic. These are the guys with the ones in their hand, they can make things happen. If they get them on the ball early, if they can get a bit of piece of magic out of these two youngsters and get a lead, that's something they can defend and they can hold on to. Like we saw in that round of 16 tie versus Austria. They scored early, and they scored then just after half-time, but they withered some massive Austrian storms. I'm going to have to do that again versus the Dutch here as well. You've got Akayindun coming back as well. Obviously saw the goalkeeper what he did with those fantastic saves. You're going to need those sort of moments again to keep out a really, really solid Dutch side. Obviously Hakan Çalhanoğlu comes back, but Koku misses out. So it'll be really important to see how they manage that middle of the park. If they can make it a scrap in the middle of the park, if they can make the game dirty and, really, really tough scrap throughout, no real control of the game for the Dutch, that's when they can find their way to a victory here. I think the scrappy the game is, the less controlled the game is for the Dutch side, the more chance Turkey have a chance to make a historic semi-final affair. I think, with that being said, I think the Dutch are just hitting the form at the right time. I've got them winning this game 3-0. I think the Cody Gakpos of the world, and I think the Shoutons and Tendo Reiners in the midfield of the park can create enough, and I think the side has it's got what it takes really to beat this Turkey side. They've got more quality, they've got the better players. I think they'll come into the form at the right point in time, and they'll beat this really, really challenging Turkey side. With that being said, ladies and gents, that brings my prediction video for the quarterfinals to an end here at Euro 2024. What a tournament it's been so far. Let me know what you think of my predictions in the comment section. Have I got it wrong? Have I got it right? Let me know that in the comment section down below. And also let me know what game you're most excited for. Obviously, you've got Spain and Germany, probably a final preview in many regards. It's such a shame they're not playing in the final. We've got the two great teams in Portugal and France. We've got underperforming England versus an overperforming Switzerland. We've got the underdogs in Turkey are playing Netherlands. There's so many great ties. And so many big players that can stand up in big moments. I just absolutely cannot wait for these games. And so far, this tournament's delivered in so many regards. So knowing the trend, we're going to have some more drama and some more great games to come. With that being said, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash a like on it, subscribe to the Players Zone channel for more videos and podcasts like these, and press that post notification bell so you know we upload our videos, podcasts, reaction videos, live streams, all here on the Players Zone channel. With that being said, I hope you have a great day. Enjoy the upcoming quarterfinal action, and I'll see you guys in a video very, very soon. Till next time, guys. See you later.